What's up, guys? It's Jacob Rodriguez, and I just want to welcome you all to Rod's Radio, a basketball podcast that dives into everything basketball, from NBA to college. I just want to thank you guys for listening and supporting. It really means a lot. And remember, OTO, baby, overcome the odds. What's up, guys? Jacob here, J-Rod, Rod, whatever you want to call me. We back at it again. Another episode of Rod's Radio. Not only is it a new episode today, but it's North Central Basketball Game Day. Finally, through the adversity, through the pandemic, we back on the floor today, baby. We finna grab this W. But first, I got a podcast to do. Right here, Rod's Radio, new episode today. We're going to be talking about the Nets' Big Three debut, how Colin Sexton was giving them that work. We're going to be talking about who really is the MVP, and the silly beef that these old heads have with the current NBA players. Man, let's get right into it. This past Wednesday, the Nets' Big Three finally debuted. And how did they start off their debut? With back-to-back L's. Now, they didn't lose to the Clippers, to the Lakers, to the Bucks, to one of the contenders in the league. They lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers. On Wednesday, they lost in double overtime, 147 to 135. The Cavs put up 147 points. Harden had a 21-point triple-double. KD with 38. Kyrie with 37. With those numbers, it's like, how did they lose? I'll tell you why they lost. Colin Sexton. If you're watching this game, you would think Colin Sexton is the greatest point guard of all time. The way he was playing. Like, it was insane. 42, 5, and 5. Scored 20 straight points in the two overtimes. He was literally dribbling down the floor, and you know the shot was going up. And the Nets didn't have an answer. They didn't. It's that simple. Colin Sexton was just cooking them. It was bad, man. It was bad. And then on Friday, they lost again to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 125 to 113. Kyrie had 38. Harden had 19, 5, and 11. KD did not play. He didn't play. Maybe that's why they lost. We all know Kevin Durant's the best player on that team. Everybody knows that. So maybe that's why they lost. But did anybody see Larry Nance dunk on James Harden? Jesus. Baptized that man. It was a good dunk. It was. But what everybody's focused on is, what's the issue in Brooklyn? Why are they struggling? They shouldn't be struggling. They have 3 people on their team who are capable of winning an MVP. Could it be first game jitters? Do they have to build chemistry with one another? But KD and Harden played with each other before, didn't they? In OKC? It was like 8, 9 years ago, but they played with each other. They played with each other in the All-Star games. Here's what I saw, and what I think is the issue with Brooklyn that I've been saying since episode 1 of this podcast. A lot of isolation at the end of the game. There's no need for that. In order for them to work, I saw Colin Sexton hitting the jumpers, They didn't have an answer for him. Sometimes that happens in the NBA. There's just players that you can't stop, no matter what you do. And that was shown when they played against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Nets' only idea at the time was to ISO the ball. It was Kyrie doing isolation. Kyrie was right up there with KD with points in that game. But it was isolation. You saw James Harden, instead of distributing the ball that he's done in his first couple games with the Nets, he's now chucking up the ball late game. Going back to his Houston days. ISOing the ball, throwing up a 3, doesn't go in. KD seemed like the only one that was trying to move the ball, trying to execute. And that's what it comes down to. Execution. In basketball, you have to execute. It's that simple, no matter what you do. I saw the Nets forcing shots, taking shots too early, and taking shots too late in the shot clock. This is all happening late game. I'm not talking about the whole game. It's happening late game. And I feel like that's not what people understand when I talk about how the Nets may not work. Look, I don't give a damn what the Nets do in the regular season. I don't. It's going to matter in the playoffs, in the second round, in the third round, in the finals, if they make it there. It's going to matter because there's tons of teams in the league that can execute, that can move the ball, that can find the open shooter, can find the open man, can get a layup or a shot off anytime they want to, can get a stop defensively. Those are my concerns for the Nets. But if they fix these issues, the Nets are going to be unstoppable. No question. On their way to the finals, no question. But the issue is, will they even be able to do it? They won't. I'm saying it again and again. They won't do it. There's no way in hell that this is going to work, ladies and gentlemen. If anything is going to work, it's going to be Kevin Durant and James Harden. That's it. You guys want to win a championship? Build around them. Kyrie, Bye. Will they trade Kyrie Irving this season? No, they won't. No. He missed 7 games, and he came back and dropped 37. They're not going to trade his ass. Why would you? He's putting up great numbers, but great numbers are just an illusion in the game of basketball. They are. Everybody might say, it's only the first couple games. You could look at Miami when they formed their big three. You could look at Cleveland when they had their big three, how they were losing games. You could look at the Lakers now that they had LeBron and AD. Their first season, they were losing games in the beginning of the season. All those teams went on to be great. And there was a difference in all of those teams than this team. They didn't have 3 ISO players. They didn't. And that's the issue, because I don't think you can win a championship that way. It's never been done before. Never. The idea that Brooklyn is the favorite to win the title right now is just silly. It's really silly. The idea that they could beat the Lakers in a 7-game series is silly. The idea that they could easily beat the 76ers in a 7-game series is silly. When we talk about the Nets, we have to be clear. We have to think clear. No bias. We can't look at their talent and just say that they're automatically going to win. I'm here to tell you right now. The Nets are not going to work. And those 2 games were not a fluke. When I was talking about the Nets, I brought up 2 teams, the Lakers and Philly. Right now, they have 2 MVP candidates. They got Joel Embiid and LeBron James. Now, Joel Embiid is averaging 27 and 11 right now, while Philly is 11 and 5. Joel Embiid is having a tremendous season. All NBA for sure. He's great, man. He's great. And I feel like all that talk last year about he wasn't the best big in the game anymore, it bothered him. It did. And rightfully so. I was a big fan of Joel Embiid. Big fan. I was always saying that Joel Embiid is better than Jokic. Last season came and I was disappointed. I was disappointed how the 76ers went out, how Joel Embiid didn't show up at all. But this season, he's coming back with a vengeance, man. He really is. But in LA, he got King James, LeBron James. The Lakers have a 13-4 record right now, with LeBron James averaging 24, 7, and 7. So the question is, who's the MVP right now? A lot of people say Joel Embiid. Some people even say Kevin Durant. Here's who I think is the MVP. And no bias on this. Nope, none at all. My MVP is the man who is in his 18th season, 36 years old, and is still the best player in the world. LeBron James. LeBron James is the MVP. He has been playing way better than Anthony Davis this season. Way better. And the Lakers have the best record in the NBA right now. We just have to stop robbing this man of his MVP awards. We just have to give credit to this man. And everybody's like, well, we give credit to him all the time. What are you talking about? We always post him. We always acknowledge his greatness. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But it's time to give him another MVP before he leaves this league. He deserves it. There's no reason why LeBron James should not have 5 MVPs right now. If not 6. He gets robbed every year. Every year. People could make the argument about Jordan, how he didn't win every year. But Jordan has 5. And LeBron should have 5 too. It's about damn time. And until the 76ers can go to a conference finals, can have the best record in the East, I don't want to hear no damn talk about the MVP. I don't. Joel Embiid, great player. Top 10 for sure. But no way in hell. No way should he get MVP. The MVP this year is LeBron James. Before I get into my next topic, I just want to wish Kevin Porter Jr. the best in his new home in Houston. He finally left Cleveland. He finally got traded after some turmoil in Cleveland. It was reported that they moved his locker without even talking to him. They moved it with the bench players and the rookies. And Kevin Porter really had a big problem with that. And now that situation's over. He's found a new home in Houston. I feel like he could really contribute there. And Houston's only up from here, man. Houston now has John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Christian Wood, Victor Oladipo, Kevin Porter Jr. This team's solid. It really is. I hope they can make things work. And I hope to see a deep run in the playoffs. I really do. Now, I'm sure you guys have heard about the retired old NBA players that have some interesting comments about the new age players. At first, I thought the retired players knew everything. They played the game, so why can't they give their opinion about the game? That's what I thought. But this past week has showed me that the old retired players are jealous and envy the current NBA players. If you haven't heard, it all started with Karl Malone. Karl Malone was asked about Zion Williamson. And Karl Malone said, Zion needs to be averaging like 40 minutes per game. You're a 21-year-old kid. Your ass shouldn't be getting tired. Now, it's crazy that Karl Malone said that. It really is. There's been critics about Zion Williamson even before he stepped on an NBA floor. But this one by Karl Malone is very shocking. Karl Malone should be the last one to be talking. I'm not going to talk about it on this podcast, but Karl Malone has an interesting history, to say the least. And for him to be talking about an age of 21 when he was doing something at 20 that people shouldn't be doing, it's just sad for him to go at a kid like that. It really is. But the hate from retired players didn't start there. But the hate from retired NBA players didn't stop there. No. After the Utah Jazz had a game on TNT, Shaq interviewed Donovan Mitchell, and man, just listen to this.
Father, this is Shaq. I said tonight that you are one of my favorite players, but you don't have what it takes to get to the next level. I said it on purpose. I wanted you to hear it. What do you have to say about that?
All right. That's it.
That's it?
All right. That's it.
Okay, cool.
I mean,
I wanted you to hear it.
I've been hearing, Shaq, I've been hearing that since my rookie year. I'm just going to get better and do what I do.
Good.
At the end of the day.
Well, that's what I wanted you to hear you say.
Yes,
Love
sir.
your game, brother. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Like, bro, what? What kind of question is that? What? I said you don't have what it takes to go to the next level. What do you have to say about that? Like, what? What is he supposed to say? Honestly, what is he supposed to say? Doesn't make sense. That's not the first time Shaq said something like that at all. It's not. If you watch TNT, he's got some interesting opinions. We heard what he said about Rudy Gobert, how he doesn't deserve the contract, which I don't think he does either. But to go on national television and clown the man, it's questionable, man. It really is. It's questionable. And that question to Donovan Mitchell was just stupid. It was really stupid. If I was Donovan Mitchell, I would have just walked off the set, not saying anything. Because why am I wasting my time talking to you? A hater. That's what Shaq was doing when he asked that question. He was just hating. Some current NBA players also had some things to say about the recent criticism retired players have to say about them. KD recently said, them old heads need to go enjoy retirement. These boys have coaches they work with every day. Also, when talking about Charles Barkley, Kevin Durant said, I don't know why they still ask for this idiot's opinion. And that's true. It's true. Over the years, I see Charles Barkley is a fan of the NBA, but he doesn't really watch the game. He doesn't. Because if you hear him talk, he doesn't know people's names. He can't remember who did what during something. He doesn't pay attention at all. And KD's right. These players have a coach. These players are in the gym every day. And I'm not the one to say that people shouldn't critique or any of that because if you can't take criticism, you're just soft. It's just that simple. You're soft. You would think these retired players would have a level of respect for the people that are playing the game now. And frankly, they really don't. A lot of them do. You got Kareem, Bill Russell, Kenny Smith has respect, Reggie Miller. Players like that. They have respect for who comes after them. But Shaq and Charles Barkley, I don't think so. Those are all-time great players. But for them to give opinions like that, they have to do better. They have to. LeBron even chimed in on this conversation. LeBron said, there's a difference between constructive criticism and soft hating, though. I've seen it both ways come my way. Mostly the hate. You could hear it in their delivery. Another player who talked about it is Joe Ingles, teammate of Donovan Mitchell. Ingles said their ratings must be so bad that they have to say absolute nonsense. We don't give a shit about what they say about our team. Which is true. You shouldn't care what people say. And that goes for anything you're doing in life. You shouldn't care about what anybody says about you. What they say you can and can't do. You shouldn't care at all. Joe gave a perfect response. But it should be a lesson for these retired players to just chill out and just give credit where credit is due. You're not playing anymore. Be a fan of the game. Love the game. Give constructive criticism. Don't just hate. Don't just hate on these players. Like, why are you jealous? Why are you jealous of them? Why do you have envy towards them? You did great things in your career. Now it's time to pass the torch and watch these new players excel. Seeing these players succeed should be amazing for you guys because they're succeeding because they saw you guys play. They had dreams and aspirations to be in the NBA because of you guys. So you shouldn't be hating on them. It's just sad, man. It really is. It's really sad. I like to end this show by remembering one of the greatest players, if not the greatest player to ever play the game, Kobe Bryant. It's January 23rd today, and in 3 days, it's about to be 1 year since Kobe Bryant has passed away. I'm going to be honest, that was the worst day of my life. The worst day of my life. Kobe Bryant, if you guys don't know, is my favorite player of all time, is my GOAT. He's my GOAT. And people may laugh or whatever at that, but he truly is my GOAT. Have you ever seen that man play? It was sensational, man. It really was. And the day he died, it was heartbreaking. It really was. It was very heartbreaking. Not only did he pass, 7 others passed as well. And his daughter, Gianna, died. We all miss him. We all love him. And it's a shame that he is not here in 2021 with us all. Kobe Bryant made me play basketball, man. He did. Without Kobe Bryant, I would not be playing basketball. I would not be doing this podcast. Hell, I would not be doing most things in life. It wasn't just the man he was on the court. It was the man he was off of it. And I strive to be like him. I do. I really hope one day I can meet him and just thank him for the greatness that he showed me, for the lessons he taught me, and just everything he's done for me, because I owe a lot of credit to Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to the GOAT. We all miss you. And also, I'd like to remember the GOAT in broadcasting, Larry King. He passed away this morning. It's a tough loss. It really is. He was one of the innovators in the broadcasting industry. Without him, I wouldn't be doing this either. I really looked up to him. His interviews were amazing. He always had joy. He always asked great questions. It's sad to hear he's gone. Rest in peace, Larry King. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. So that's it of Rod's Radio, episode 8. I appreciate everyone that listens to me. I appreciate everybody that supports me. I have a special announcement. Rod's Radio is finally on YouTube. Yes, go subscribe now on YouTube. This episode will be uploaded to YouTube, including my previous 7 episodes. So go check them out. Leave a like, share, all of that, man. And don't forget, we're on Spotify, Anchor, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, a lot of other places, man. Make sure you guys keep it up. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Rods_radio. That is at RODS_RADIO. Episode 9 will be out next Saturday. I'm excited for this journey. It's about to be February, almost a month down of 2021 already. I'm wishing you guys the best for 2021, man. This is our year. Let's get it. Now, with that being said, I only got one thing to say. Rod out.